Module Overview. This module explores the critical phase of budget defense, where proposed financial plans are subjected to scrutiny, questioning, negotiation, and final approval by diverse stakeholders such as management, boards, government agencies, donors, or funding institutions. Budget defense is where strategy meets interrogation, and financial justification must be bulletproof. You will learn the skills needed to confidently defend budgets, justify expenditures, respond to difficult questions, engage in persuasive financial dialogue, and navigate institutional politics. It also covers how approval workflows differ across public, private, and nonprofit sectors, and the legal, ethical, and procedural elements that influence final D. Understanding budget defense. Budget defense is the formal or informal process through which the owner of a budget proposal presents, justifies, and negotiates the details of a budget with decision makers. Key objectives: validate the necessity of expenditures, demonstrate alignment with goals or mandates, defend assumptions, forecasts, and cost structures, secure modifications and approval. Budget defense may occur in a boardroom, e.g., presenting to executive directors, during government budget hearings, e.g., ministries defending budgets before the legislature, in donor review panels, e.g., grant proposal pitches, in committee meetings for project-specific budgets. Preparing for budget defense. Proper preparation involves more than rehearsing. It requires anticipation, scenario planning, and documentation. Key preparation tasks: know your numbers. Be able to explain every figure, what it's for, how it was calculated, and why it's justified. Scenario mapping: prepare responses for best case, worst case, and likely questions. Stakeholder mapping: understand who will ask what. Finance director, cost structure, return on investment. Operations head, resource adequacy, efficiency. CEO, strategic alignment and sustainability. Donor, value for money and impact metrics. Evidence portfolio, historical data and trends, market benchmarks, vendor quotes, policy documents or regulations. Defense techniques and approaches. A. The strategic justification approach emphasizes how the budget serves long-term organizational goals, shows linkage to strategic plans, KPIs, and sustainability goals. Example: the N8 million allocation to digital infrastructure directly supports our 3-year strategy to digitize 70% of service delivery. B. The ROI-based approach quantifies return savings, revenue increases, productivity gains, useful for cost-benefit analysis and project-based funding. Example: every N1 invested in this campaign generates N5 in customer acquisition. C. The risk mitigation approach frames the budget as essential to reducing legal, operational, or reputational risks. Example: this safety compliance budget ensures we avoid costly fines and reputational damage. D. The comparative benchmarking approach justifies costs by comparing with similar organizations or industry standards. Example: our training budget per employee is 27% lower than the sector average. Approval workflows across sectors. A. Private sector budget proposals go through departmental heads, CFO, executive board. Final approval rests with the CEO or board. B. Public sector agency budgets are reviewed by internal departments, ministry, then parliament. Must comply with appropriation laws, fiscal policies, and audit protocols. C. NGO, nonprofit, donor funding may require multiple layers of review. Technical committee, financial committee, donor board. Emphasis on value for money, compliance with guidelines, and impact justification. Legal, ethical, and governance considerations. Budget approval is not only financial, it is a governance matter with accountability, transparency, and legal implications. Key governance elements: fiduciary responsibility. Boards must ensure funds are used responsibly. Compliance, alignment with tax, audit, procurement, and financial regulations. Conflict of interest disclosures required for approvers and proposers. Record keeping, minutes of meetings, versions of budgets, and approval memos are necessary for audit trails. Dynamics of negotiation and compromise. Approval rarely comes without modifications. You must know when to stand firm and when to compromise. Smart compromise tactics offer to phase expenses over quarters, Suggest conditional approvals, e.g., tied to milestones. Offer alternative budget lines or cost-saving options. Emphasize long-term savings over short-term cuts. Innovations in budget presentation. Modern organizations are adopting digital innovations for smarter budget presentations, AI budget summarizers, auto-generate narratives from Excel sheets, collaborative cloud presentations, budget teams editing documents live, augmented reality dashboards in high-tech or defense environments, gamification tools for community-led budgeting in municipalities. Conclusion. Defending a budget is one of the most critical skills in finance, project management, and leadership. It requires not only analytical expertise, but also emotional intelligence, communication mastery, and political savvy. Whether you're presenting to a board, donor, or legislature, your ability to justify and negotiate your budget determines its fate and often the future of your initiative. This module has equipped you with everything from defense strategies and question handling to cross-sectoral approval workflows and ethical considerations.